Okay, Aga has a long career, experience in fashion industries, fashion media, and now I believe he established his own brand. I'm not sure, but yeah, Aga can explain to you all. Aga will tell us more about how fashion industry and identity, make an intersection and create like kind of culture or subculture in our
Yes.
society, especially in Indonesian context. And maybe our international student can add later on, maybe in the question and answer session, perspective about a similar idea in your country, in Philippines or in Belarus or maybe in Spain. So we can have like a more fruitful discussion. So Aga, thank you again for coming and share your experience in this class. And also for your information, Aga is and Pakistan. Thank you, Kevin. I'm sorry. Aga is an alumni of Communication Department. I'm not sure what year you graduate, Aga.
I think it's about around like 2009.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 2009. Not too bad.
And
It's
2000,
yours.
like, yeah, it's 2008 or 9. I'm a little bit fuzzy about that right now.
Not John.
Been a long time, but like, yeah, I still kind of remember everything about the experience of being student, of course.
Yeah, not to be traumatic of that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Aga, it's a time and the virtual Zoom is yours.
Okay. Okay. First of all, thank you all for coming. My name is Aga, and maybe I'm not gonna be like speaking a very clear English. Like I have a very broken English, so I'm really sorry about it. But feel free to ask me or just like like correct my grammar or everything. But I'm trying my best to for all of you to just like listen about what I say. Okay, so I think so. I already can share screen. Okay.
Yes, you can do it.
Okay, just hold up. Uh, let's start it from here. Okay. So before that, I mean, like, I'm gonna just like explain to you about like the fashion industry and identity because that was like the main theme of our discussion today. I'm not gonna say that I'm a lecturer because I'm also still learning, but like, this is the thing that maybe like not a lot of people, especially like people in the communication department, really. Uh, Recognize it is actually like part of the communication itself. This is what I learned about like from my journey about like from graduation from the day that I graduate from Erlangga University and then like just move out to this kind of industries. Actually, like a lot of things that actually like related, and this is why like I'm gonna be like explain it to you like there's like a simple story about it. So let's just start. Sorry, I'm kind of like a little bit. Ah, okay. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. I have a very sensitive cursor. Mm. Okay, so I think I'm gonna be like just a simple like telling me about telling all of you guys about the journey so far. This is my CV so far. Like I graduate about around 2008, but from that time I was like also working as a public relation at Surabaya, and then in 2009 I moved out to Jakarta and like joined the Belladonna group. If you guys like familiar with wedding magazines like Belladonna the Wedding and also like Belladonna Home. And then the other one is they have like a very traditional wedding magazines. It's called the Mahligai. And then in 2011, I was joined the Trinaya group and become like the associate fashion stylist at Marie Claire Indonesia. Maybe some of you recognize the name, the brand names. So Marie Claire Indonesia, it doesn't have any connection with the Marie Claire shoes, but like the Marie Claire is like one of the franchise international magazines come from France and also belong to Hearst publication all around the world. And then in 2012, I become like the fashion stylist of Marie Claire Indonesia, and also like have like a double in the same group. I joined the Majalah Kartini also, become like the fashion stylist there. And then like 2015, I become like the fashion editor for the Marie Claire Indonesia, Style.com Indonesia, Majalah Kartini, and also Anissa. Anissa is like a women fashion for the Muslim, the modern Muslim in Indonesia. And then 2016, I being promoted to be like the senior fashion editor of the Trinaya groups. I taking care like a lot of magazines there. And at the 2017, I go out from the Trinaya group and then join the SNO project. What is the SNO project? So SNO project is kind of like some kind of like an agency, but like only focus on the fashion and beauty concept. Is kind of like something to promote and also like creating a lot of concept. Like it can be like from food, but like go join from the point of view of the fashion and the beauty. And then in 2018, I become like promoted by by the SNO project that become like the fashion director of it. Okay, that's me about like 5 years ago, maybe. And then let's start first is from the fashion and media. Okay, so this is like maybe like most of you like is any one of you like already have like some kind of like a basic journalistic college, dasar jurnalistik? Is it Mas already?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
maybe.
kind of like all of you like maybe already know. So maybe like all of you like already know about like working as a reporter in some kind of a magazines and also like some other like publication. But like maybe like some of you doesn't really know about one of the biggest influence in the society is actually a lifestyle magazines, and one of them is fashion. Most of the lifestyle magazines have like the fashion subject inside it. So I'm gonna talk to you about like what is the fashion and the media itself. So basically, what we call is actually like everything is has to be very editorial. So editorial means I'm only like screen capped it from the dictionary. It's kind of like relating to the commissioning or preparing of material publication, the editorial team. So what is the meaning is actually like everything that we do is like for the purpose of the publication. So it's like the purpose for the media, and like the purpose is to be published to the society and also to the market. And what is like a fashion editorial is so fashion editorial is kind of like you have to create an image. It's like most likely about like a 5, 4, or maybe like 8. Is depend like long time ago. I don't know like this day like you still recognize magazines because everything is online right now. But like yes, 5 years ago, magazine is a big thing. So like everything is like come from a magazine. So basically like a fashion editorial is like creating an image for the fashion magazines, or maybe like for a lifestyle magazines. So I'm gonna tell you the story from my point of view. There's like a several publication, and what is the difference of it. So this is like all the characters from it. So the character of the for the fashion editorial is kind of like different in every kind of magazine. This is maybe you already know, but like I kind of like try to categorize some of it, but like this is about like a 5 years ago. But I think right now is kind of like everything is already being like a develop and have like some kind of like a subculture of it, and a lot of things. But mostly long time ago in the media, like the character is like basically like if like the photo shoot or like the fashion itself has to be like the first one is lively. So if you recognize like a Teen Vogue or maybe like a 17 magazines, it used to be like this kind of a characters is like go to the publication for the youngsters. So lively is kind of like for connected with the audience that you know. And then like the second one is high fashion. So the high fashion is the character half of high fashion is kind of like something that a little bit look a very elegant, and but also like have a little bit artsy, but not too much, because like most likely high fashion magazines are try to selling all the stuff of the models wears. like take example like from the Bazaar magazine. I take an example here, and then like from Vogue usually also like that, and Vanity Fair, and if you recognize maybe Elle, Elle magazines. And then like the other one is like a little bit artsy, and this one is kind of like something that a little bit popular right now because like actually like if you see a fashion, maybe you think about clothing, but like the artsy characters of the of the magazine sometimes like they push the boundaries and like you cannot recognize it's actually not selling anything about it. Like example like this, the Taiwan Vogue cover is they're covering the face of the models like that, but like you can see that actually they're selling the necklace. So this is kind of like one of the characters right now that really working out in several countries. Like supposed to be like right now is like in the Asia. And then like the fourth one that I know is kind of like something that really booming also like in the past few years is like an indie normcore. Is everything like has to be like very minimalist, like the Kinfolk magazines, the V magazines, or maybe like you know about Paper Cut magazine from Germany. So all of these characters is actually like a different kind of fashion that been true to the media, and they become like one of the character of the media. So if you see like Bazaar have like a high fashion character of it, even though that Bazaar never claim themselves as a fashion magazines, but their fashion is like we categorize it as a high fashion. Okay, let's next continue. Okay, I'm gonna tell you about the audience of the magazine that I used to work with. So what kind of like the difference about the audience and the difference about like how you treat the fashion itself? Okay, so the audience for the Marie Claire, let's say, if Marie Claire is like targeting for everyday women, they are career focused, they are role models, smart and very fashionable. So all the fashion itself, it has to be like a very approachable. So you can see it's like a this is actually like the red one is actually like my first cover for the Marie Claire. It's around like 2011-ish. And it's Tut Mini Theo, one of Indonesian artists. So we have to give like the everything, like all the wardrobes and everything. Hold, sorry. Sorry. X. Hold up, guys. Sorry. I just lost my PowerPoint. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Technical issues is always becoming habit for all us now.
Or online.
Yeah, online society changed everything.
Okay, I think I'm ready to share you screen. Is it on?
Not yet.
Not
Still
yet.
blank screen. Yeah, I started now.
Okay, I think still
Still
loading.
loading.
Yeah, I think like that was like the most difficult of online that you have to
Yeah, it
look
happens.
for.
I think we lost this screen.
Okay, hold up. I'm try to refresh it. Sorry, guys.
while waiting, we do have Bu Yuyun attending the class as well.
Oh, hi, Bu. I don't know that you remember me, Bu, but I do remember you.
Oh, everybody remember you.
Hang on. I'm going to change my video settings. The virtual background doesn't work. Again, as you said, always technical problems.
Always technical problems. Okay, hold up.
How are you? Good?
I'm good. Try to survive.
Well done. We're starting to see your PowerPoint though, so it's all good.
Yeah, I need to share it. Go, people. No, not share it. Ah, sorry. Present it. Hey. Okay. Is it on?
Yes, it's on.
Okay. Thank God. Okay, where was I? Okay. Okay, so how to like describing to Mary Claire audience is actually like we cannot make something little bit maybe like you recognize the word of fierce in fashion a lot, but not actually like fierce can be working in every kind of magazines. So you can see like in here that we need to give like the audience that actually like a very approachable face that you can see like Chutmini Theo is like smiling there. And also like the wardrobe is not a very complicated like we can see like in the other two, because like in Marie Claire magazines that we need to make all the women that want to read it like the one that in the cover is actually like inspire them to become like one of them. So it's not only like the matter of the styling, the framing, and the color, but like we also have to think about the character of the cover star itself. So like in the second one day, we can see like Naomi Watts, like, you know, like Naomi Watts is like a very famous Hollywood actress. And in here that she was like just doing like a very elegant and a very femininity pose, not very strong, doing something that really intimidating, but like also like think about like a little bit approachable and like make up women think about like, yeah, I like that dress, but like I want her to be like me also. So like it has to be like a two both ways. That's why like fashion in the media industry is like a really important, because like when, well, we all know about like not judge a book by its cover, but like in a magazine's way, everything is judged by the cover. You won't buy a magazine without like knowing the cover, right? So like, so one of the thing about like become like a fashion editor in the magazines is kind of like one of a, how do you say it, like the warrior of it, because like actually like if you done really bad on the cover suit, nobody gonna buy the magazines, even though that you have like a very good story, like you have a very good news that you want to tell to the audience, but if the cover is not good enough, like you cannot reach them. And then second one, like I work in the L'Officiel also. So L'Officiel is kind of like a fashion, it's not a fashion magazines exactly, but like it's kind of like a high society magazines, come from the from French also. And they have like a several in this they have like a several in the several country also, maybe like all maybe everyone from around country like can share also if they have like a L'Officiel or Marie Claire magazines. So the L'Officiel is made for the high society, art enthusiasts, jet setters, and fashion savvy and high lifestyle. So the cover itself, like we can see like there's like a Cinta Laura on it. So this cover is in, I think like, I'm not sure, it's in LA or New York, when she was like still doing her study in the States, in the US. So in the L'Officiel, we can see like all the styling and the concept and everything is very provoking. It's kind of like intimidating. So the difference about L'Officiel and Marie Claire is like Marie Claire is want to grab you, like they're approachable, but L'Officiel is try to challenge you. Like, you want to be like me, can you be like me? So that's what's the two kind of a difference of it. And then the third one is like, we can see like, it's an Anisa magazine. So it's like a Muslim women's magazine. But in here, we try to give a little bit twist about a modern one. So in the here, we can see like the cover is like they're using like a non, how do you say, like, you know, like it's not literally a hijab brand, but like we can see like there's like a designer brand also, but like we can see like also like most of it are like a mass brand that we can recognize everywhere. But we try to styling it in a very modern way, but we also need to be consistent to deliver that this is like a Muslim magazine. So everything has to be like modest and have to be like on the line of the that's still in the Muslim way. So it's kind of like one of the challenge is actually like we have to create something that a little bit modern, but also not being provocative, but not necessary as a dull as like you can probably see as in the local magazine. So we have to like develop on it. So this is like the three different audience that my group that I used to work with them, the Trinaya group of that I work with. Okay. And then on the next one, oops. Okay, so what is actually the objective of like making these fashion editorials? So it's actually like the work of the fashion editor is not only just like creating and like created the clothes from another brand or another designer, but also you have to think about giving a trend to try. How about like giving that trend to try is actually like we can see like in the society what is kind of trend right now. Like is it jeans are still booming? Are like leather jacket are still happening right now? Who's celebrity wearing what and everything? And also like we need to give an eye, ear, and also mind on the fashion week, because like what happens in the fashion week is going to be like the trend on the next one. So we need to follow all about the designer brands that we know. So actually like giving a trend to try is actually like you have to create the concept first before you make the marketing tools for fashion brands. And also like why we making like this kind of a fashion editorial is also like give a marketing tools for the fashion brands itself. So it's kind of like this, like basically like magazines are born and like breathe and also live because of the advertisement. And most of the lifestyle advertisement are like a fashion brand. So we need to taking care of them. So showing them that actually like their clothes are really good, and we need to show it to the audience of the magazine itself. And also like the third one is creating a pleasing image for the ear for the audience. So when you open the magazine, so sometimes like we can see like a lot of fashion spread is kind of like pleasing the eyes. It's not like you're reading a novels like on and on, or maybe like a theory communication book, maybe like those thick book without image, right? I don't know, you still take Masiga? Theory com. Okay, so like that. So this is like the objective of like in the fashion media, like why it's why the fashion is very important in the lifestyle media. So maybe I can tell you a little bit a story about like all of this is like being created by me. So that one is like you can see like we have to make something a little bit twisted, also like creating about the women of the Mary Claire itself. Like we can see like they're like the model is holding a baby, because like I want to show it that actually like this dress is look gorgeous for you. Either you married, you're a mom, or you're a career woman, or you're everything, that dress is gonna work with you. And it's actually like the title itself is a Focus Indonesia, because like we are actually on the story is actually like we created about like 12 Indonesian designers, so all of them like in a like Indonesian born designer, and they're really good about it. And the other one in the down one, the one with the horse, is actually like I'm shooting it in New Zealand at 9 o'clock at night actually, but I don't know, because in New Zealand like the sun is really good. So this is like the story of a spring summer. We can see like I know like Indonesia doesn't have any spring summer, but like we create it anyway because like the season of the trend is going to the spring summer, and we try to catch up with the global event about it. And then on the other side again is like I creating some kind of like a colorful ambience, but like we try to twist it with the monochromes on the model face like that. So actually like doing the fashion editorial is quite fun and stressful and also tiring, but like once the result that you can see like at the magazines, it really pleases you. And sometimes then when you see the readers reading it and like seeing it, that was like the most, how do you say about like kepuasan batin, what is it in English? Satisfied. Like you feel like very satisfied and proud about like all the thing that you've done with it. So I think like that was like my sharing about the fashion in the media industry. But like for a further question, just do let me know. But we should continue first. Okay, now let's talk about the fashion and the industry itself. Okay, so basically, fashion is like dividing into like a several group, as we know, yeah. So now maybe like all of you like not doesn't really know about like is it like a designer and H&M it is the same thing? So it's actually like two different things. All of it is all fashion, but like we categorize like any kind of fashion. Why? Because like this is how we approach the audience in a different way. So the fast fashion is like a focus on the product that produces of a mass quantity. So basically they're making like all the campaign and all the image they're creating is kind of like more likely being approachable and being like, how do you say it? Like it's easy to cerna. Oh my God. Like easy to cerna apa ya mas?
Understood? To be...
Yeah, easy to understood. Yeah, easy to understood and also easy to accept. Okay, so like I'm gonna take an example about like a few brands that I work with and like how they approachable it on their campaign about like how they put it on the fashion way. So maybe you recognize like the brand called Nevada. It's one of the Indonesian retail's biggest brand. So Nevada is approaching it with the kind of like a candid story. Like the model itself, it doesn't have to be like literally posed and like doing some fierce stuff. Because like why? Because like they want to approach to everyday life of everyone. And so basically Nevada is being targeted to maybe like a youngster around like 15 to 25. So the concept itself is about like how about your friends and the group and the gang hang out in this kind of like a skate park, because like usually like a skate park is kind of like a cool things to do. So, and if you can see, it's actually like there's no one that actually like posing, like literally pose. This one is making everything a little bit candid. But the thing that we need to recognize is actually like when you try to create this kind of image, that you need to think about the pose, how to sell the clothes. Like the example about like the one in here, if you can see, like one of the models is actually like being leaned down on the stairs. Why? Because like we need to see the clothes, a clearly shot for the clothes like that. So, and also like they need to see the clear shot of the shoes. So we need to take like a long, high angle of it. And then the models have to be like engaged on it. And then like we can see also like the one with the skateboard here. So it's not literally like just posing, but like it's just like some kind of candid pose, like he want to drive the skateboard and riding on it. And we can see like the clothes is still clear, the denim is still clear, and the shoes is also still clear. So this is like how mostly how the retail brand or the fast fashion brands approach their campaign. And then on the next one, this one is like taking another approach from another brand. It's called the Everbest. So if you recognize, like Everbest is a shoes brand, maybe they're giving like a little bit of fierce on it, but like we can see in here is not really very intimidating, like maybe like some several campaign. So in here, the thing is like we still need, I'm sorry, we still need to show the product itself about like how they work in the everyday's outfit and everything. So we can see like from the styling point of view, like the styling itself is kind of like everything is a little bit everyday's look. It's not too very intimidating, and maybe they want to twist it because like the Everbest want to make it like a little bit how do you say it? Still approachable, but like want to be like a little bit imaginary. So they put like the twisted one is actually from the pose of the models. But if you can see in here that every time like the model pose, it's still need to think about how the shoe's gonna be like focused on it. So, and then like we go to the next brand that I work with is Uniqlo. So maybe like all of you like recognize the Uniqlo is actually like they're not calling themselves as a fashion brand, but they call themselves as a lifestyle brand, lifewear brand. I'm sorry. So in here that we can see like they approaching in a very natural way, and even the lighting itself has to be like a very clear. So, and the tricky one about this campaign is actually, if you recognize like the clothing from the Uniqlo doesn't have a very strong color to put with. And that was like so tricky to taking picture with, because like actually like all of this color is a very pale, but also in the sweet way. So we need to recognize like all the lighting and everything and have to put it together to show the audience and the customer that actually like there was like a real color from it. So, and we can see like also the pose is very candid and totally active. They're totally like doing some kind of activity, because like their approaching is actually like lifewear again, lifewear itself. So Uniqlo wants to give the audience about that this pants is actually like quite nice to be wearing at home. Like this skirt and scarf is actually for you to go out like buy an ice cream, or just like and the jacket is like go for a bike, like that. So this is kind of like the approaching of like several of the retail that I work with. But again, this is like actually like most of the retail brands that want to do this kind of a concept. Not all of the fast fashion are doing this kind of concept, but mostly this one is the one that works. And then next one is like we call it the studio fashion, or maybe like the streetwear fashion. And then others in the fashion brands who have a distinctive style and more likely sell on those characters into the image. So basically in here, we can see like the difference is actually like the picture itself is not telling you to buy the clothes, but like they telling you about like my clothes is cool, you have to buy it, like that. So if you can see, this is one of the brand is called the House of Jealousy, or like everybody in here like call it the HOG. So HOG XSSN is a backstrap. So if you can see like the ideology of the House of the Jealousy itself is kind of like something that really cool, that really high street, and they're really nomco, and they have like a very influence in the modern streetwear in Japan, and also like a modern streetwear in Germany. So we can see like actually like they don't mind if like the photo is kind of like a little bit blurred. And if you can see actually like they selling the backstrap, but the backstrap is kind of like a blur, but they okay with it, because what? This is kind of like the approach of a studio fashion. They're not really hard selling on it, but they want to give like the brand itself as an image. And then like we can see like the other one, this one is a Hayati. So this brand is also like kind of like a some kind of like an idealistic brand. If you can see like all the campaigns in here are actually not literally to give a good condition of the clothes, but they can see it like actually like this clothes is like have a good material. So you can see like the focus on the picture is actually like more to the silhouette and the material, but not necessarily all, because like most likely if we sell clothing, if we are hard selling on the clothing, like we ask the models to be like stand up, right? Like because like they're gonna be not gonna be like wrinkled and the silhouettes will be looking clear. But in here, like they're approaching in a very different way. They're showing about the length of the dress. They showing about the color tones of the look of the jackets and the skirt and everything. So this is kind of like the studio way concept of the studio fashion. And then like the third one is like they call it like jewel not jewel. So most likely studio fashion have like a very interesting name. And then like so we can see in here like they're actually like selling the pants and in the very unconservative way. Usually like if we selling a pants, like we ask the models to bring like any kind of a shirt, but they want to focus only on the pants. So we can see like the difference between the fast fashion and also the studio fashion in this kind of a picture. On the next one, and we're going to right now like to go to the high fashion. This is like the third one. So it's a most likely a designer namesake brand, mostly focused on the idealism and also the side of the art of the image, showing the brand's identity as part of an art. So they want to put like they name their work, their workmanship, their material and everything into this a canvas, but not literally just only like making a catalog, but they thinking about like how to make it a very beautiful way, intriguing way, not literally intimidating, but like also still pleasing the eyes. So the main object usually for the high fashion is not only about to selling the clothes, but also to inspire. So this is kind of like the most it's not literally difficult, but it's kind of like a complex concept to create with, because like you have to put like in the middle that you need to sell the clothes, but in the middle also you have to gather the audience, even though they're not gonna buy the clothes, but at least like they're gonna be like see the material, the marketing material as something that really pleasing for them. Take example, like we have like this Jeffrey Tan is one of a Surabaya, actually like one of the Surabaya best designer, but like right now like he have like 3 stores in Jakarta right now. And so we can see like in the concept itself is a little bit like more elegant, more high fashion, unapproachable, but like still pleasing the eyes. This is like one of the concept that actually like I kind of love it, because like we can see like he not literally just like selling the clothes in the very catalog way. If you can see like the dress is still on, and we can see like all the material, the gold itself is quite very intriguing. Like you can think expensive, or maybe like you can think it like a very beautiful to wear it. But for the one that maybe not into the clothing itself, it's kind of like, oh, it's a very beautiful picture. At least it's like that. So you can see also like the third picture in here is like showing the clothes, because like this one is a little bit difficult clothes to show. It's kind of like a more like a modern kaftan, but on the pose like an act like a goddess with this kind of like a models. It creates some kind of like an ambience that this dress is actually like made for a goddess. That was like the main idea. So it's kind of like the difference between the fast fashion, the studio fashion, and the high fashion is actually like when you talk about the brief with the designers, or like you create something about the brief, it's kind of like a losing word that you need to have like a creative mind how to create it. It's kind of like that. And we have, and the second one, this is like a Ramadauhan. So Ramadauhan is like one of the best Indonesian young designers also. So this one is actually like for a wedding dress that like we twisted into some kind of like a 1920s Downton Abbey-ish, the Edwardian era of it. So we can see like the clothing itself is still like look beautiful. And the models is like dressed like they're still in the 80s with the hair and the makeup and everything. But we can see also like the details of the clothing is not so gone. So this is how you create this high fashion things. And it's still like giving you something to dream of, like something a little bit dreamy. And the next one is like another Jeffrey Tan's collection also. And then like in here, like we can see like the angle itself is quite unique because like you're not doing it in the eye level angles, but like from the low angles, creating some kind of shape of the models. And even though that we cannot clearly see about the silhouette of the clothing, but like we can also see about the detail that they sell. So we can see in the first picture is like you cannot even see the model's face in here, but you can see like the details of what they sold. It's actually like the pants have like a three tones colors and how they are doing some kind of like a finishing and everything, and also like how to sell the bag that without selling it the bag like just a normal one, but like they're giving you like some kind of like an angle about it. It's kind of like how you intriguing the audience right now, especially with this social media that happening, that you need to create something that, well, at least that you think about like, is it so weird? Weird is a good thing. At least that they get you attention. So this is the thing that high fashions do. And then like this one is like a Iwan Tirta and Paleo Object. So a Paleo Object have like it's a macram cap, like a macram hat. And then like they collaborate with Iwan Tirta. So we can see like actually like in this kind of a picture is also like kind of like a dreamy elegance and everything. Even the pose itself, it has to be like not necessarily a very feminine, but in a very awkward way. But you can see that we still sell the main point of the what of the object of the two brands itself. Like we can see that the third picture that we can see the batik itself is still blown up in here, and the angle itself is like very cool, and the model itself is kind of like very calm, elegant, and doing some kind of like an elegant pose also. And then again, like we have like a Jam Sober, maybe like you recognize also, is kind of like one of the famous Indonesian designers right now. And so this one is actually like another collaboration with the batik brand also. So we can see like the picture in here is kind of like making like more dreamy. So the theme of it is kind of like if you recognize a Rembrandt painting of it, or maybe like the girls with the pearl earring, that was like the inspiration to change this kind of thing into the picture. And again, like this is like the time when you want to create something that actually like selling something, but not literally selling something to be done with. Like you can see like the first picture is like they not even using models on it. It's just like one of the tuxedo are being put down on the chairs, and then like we just like put it like the head of it with some kind of flowers like that. And then like the next one, and this is the newest campaign of the Iwan Tirta, which they call it the Pertiwi Mata. So the story itself is like actually like they're dividing into three kind of a story about Indonesia, about like the Swarna Bumi and the Java Dipa, and also the Puranusa. So like Puranusa is like the Eastern Indonesian. So in here that we try to create something kind of like look very Indonesian, but not so literally, because like if you can see like most of the Indonesian traditional clothes or maybe like batik are like using some kind of like a traditional background. So we kind of change it, but still have the story of Indonesia itself. We go to some kind of like a woods, but like still have like an Indonesian ornament on it. So that's just like how you think about like creating some kind of like a concept on it. So in here that we can see like the jungle itself is not literally like represent some kind of like a random jungle in all around the world, that like a little bit specifically in the Southeast Asia, it's like that. And then on the next one, okay, so we go to the next concept is about like a fashion profiles. So what is fashion profiles? So we talk about identity right now. So fashion is not only like being working as in the media or in the industry itself, but like a fashion also working on the individual. So this is one of a thing that people not recognize is actually like most of the high celebrity are using a stylist to do profiling for them. So they dressing up and creating something, and not also the celebrity. As we know, like our president Joko Widodo is using white shirt. It's not just because like he love white shirt, but actually like they have like a 10 people on it to think about it. They have like a 10 people to think about what is the president has to wear every day. It's like that. So this is the kind of thing that actually like a very interesting thing about fashion in this world. So in the fashion profiles, you need to become like a very stylist. So the stylist itself is a person whose job is to shape or design something. In here is in the term of fashion. You know, stylist is usually being used also by the hairstylist or maybe like some kind of food stylist and everything. But in here, I'm gonna only focus on the fashion and what is making like a fashion profile stylist need to do to create some kind of an image. So to create some kind of like a profile and portrait is like, this is a kind of like what I'm actually like doing it. But if you ask another stylist, maybe like they have like a different point of view of it. But like this is the thing that I really make a focus on it. So the first one is not over styling. Why? Because like we need to sell actually like the character itself. Okay, the first picture is maybe like some of you recognize it's Vitrya Yusuf. She's kind of like one of the models and also like a philanthropy, and she's also goes to with the movies long time ago. I forgot the name of the movies, but like, yeah. So this is like her picture of like doing during the Ramadan, because like she want to have a picture to make some kind of like a greetings card. So this is Vitrya Yusuf during the Ramadan. And the second one is like you have to make it like a lively and candid. It usually like working. Why? Because like the thing is like people want to have a profile to be published is actually they want to approach something. So something that lively and candid is always approachable. So in here they have like Fitria Sofiani and Chef Simon. So he was like one of the famous chef in Bandung. And this is like how they I picture themselves about like approaching about it. And then like the third one is have to be like comfortable. In the term of comfortable in here is like in the clothing. I know like the look on the clothing from the models of Paula Verhoeven in here doesn't look comfortable, but that's the thing. If like so here's the thing, like when you do some kind of like a fashion profile, you're not working with the models. Models can do everything, you know, like you pay them to become your muse, to become your canvas. In the fashion profile, like you cannot do everything based only on our creativity, but you need to think about like, are they comfortable enough or not? Because sometimes when they're not comfortable about like the clothing that you give them it will be like reflecting on the picture, and it's not gonna be like a very good about it. In here, Paula is very comfortable like showing the thigh and everything, because like this is when she, I think like when this is like 4 years before she got married and having a kid. So I think like she's good with that. And then like, so continue. So, and then like we have to showing about the human side. This is like actually working for a politician and also for the celebrity. Why? Because like actually like, you know, like celebrity have like a lot of a beautiful picture. We know that like they have like the magazine's cover, they have like advertisement everywhere, and they being dressed up like a real diva and everything that everyone has to dream of. But it's a little bit twisted that actually like it's become like very lovable if you can see some kind of like a human side of it that you can show it in the picture. In this picture that I take a picture with Maudi Kusnaidi and Dian Sastro for the L'Oreal. And then like we take so the styling itself, it doesn't have to be like a really hard for them. So remember the first point about like not over styling, but you can actually like play with it. Like in the first picture, we can see like Maudi Kusnaidi is actually like just laughing about like if she's got like raindrops on the head. It's like how she gonna be managed with the Michael Kors suits like that. And then on the second picture is actually like a very candid. So this kind of thing is actually like a very moment that you and the photographer need to catch. So this is one actually like Maudi Kusnadi is already finished and she wants to go home. And then like the second part is like it's time for the Dian Sastro session. And then when Dian is on the frame, Maudi just like getting on the set and they're just like saying goodbye. And then we got this picture. And then like this picture is still like one of my favorite right now because like it's very candid and like we can see like both of the ladies are still beautiful and so bubbly. And then like the third one is actually like the Dian Sastro herself on the real picture. So, and then like the thing is that we need to elevate the characters, but not to be like, you know, to over everything on the characters. Like if you can see like Dian Sastro itself, like her face is already like everybody already recognize her everywhere. So in here, I'm just like only just like put some kind of like a clothes that really showing the shape of the body and everything, but like not necessarily like change her to the way she dressed. So this is how you make some kind of like a profile portrait. And then the next thing that you need to think about is the proportion and pose. Again, we're not working with the models. They're not used to have like this kind of like awkward pose or some kind of fierce pose or everything. It's your job to actually like creating the concept as simple as it is because the profile itself, it has to be the one that being sold. So in here is Semisi Morangkir. This is one of a picture for one of his album right now and Spotify. And then the second one is like him and his wife. And we can see it's like everything is still light and very intimate, not literally have to be like a very awkward or maybe like a very focused on the one or two person, but like it's creating some kind of like a very good image that you can see both of them in a very clear way. And then like the next one is appropriate. What do you call appropriate? It's kind of like, so here's the thing. You will not use some kind of a international brand, non-Indonesian brand to a president because like it will be like bad for the publication, right? So appropriate in here is kind of like you have to think about like with who you work with. So if like the models was like the talents and the profile, it was a kid, ask them to smile and be kids. Don't ask them to be like a fierce models on everything. So in here, the appropriate thing is actually like pose and everything, pose, clothes, color tones, and everything is has to be like appropriate with the profile that we want to be published with. And then the next one is actually like selling the profile. So in here, if we try to, it's more likely like about the concept. So if we want to create something about the profile pictures, it's actually like you need to know about what they do and how you emphasize that into the picture. In the the left one, the red one, is actually like Monica Hapsari. So she was like a very famous Indonesian art painter and illustrator. And this one is actually like we take a picture on her exhibition because like she have like this picture of red sun. I a little bit forgot about the exhibition itself, but like well, she was like thinking about like the red sun that burned the skin of human being and everything, some kind of like those concepts. And I was like thinking about like, okay, like why can we make something that making it showing your profile and also like emphasizing about your artwork into a one picture. So this kind of a picture is actually like made for the promotion about her exhibition. And then like the third one is about real people. Think about real people. What about real people? So in here, there's like she's a designer, the House of Jealousy designer, name is Andi Yulianti. About like, think about like how you approach people of a real people, not approach a celebrity or something that in out of the range of the publicity that you want to make. So I think like the one of the thing that you need to ask for them to be posing concept and clothing is think about real people. That is like the one of I always put myself on the horse glasses maybe. In Indonesia, we used to call that like horse glasses, like you cannot see anywhere like that. So this is kind of thing. And then like the most important thing about like making a profile and portrait is still have to be recognizable. So either you're gonna be like creating a very cool concepts about like it's not gonna be like a real thing or everything. Usually like if the thing is kind of like a clients want to ask you about like, okay, I want to look like a Lady Gaga, or like I want to look like some kind of like a princess from Italy or something. But the thing is that you need to make them recognizable. How do you do that? This was like one of the things that we need to spare a few space that still recognize the profile. So in here, like we can see like is Yasmin Netper, actress. And so we are channeling the some kind of like an Audrey Hepburn kind of vibe, because the client asked us to do that. But in here, we spare the face that we have to make the face like full frontal, because like everyone knows it's Yasmin Nepper from the face. Because like if you cut it on the hair or in the chin or on the hands, it's gonna be like not unrecognizable. So it's like the thing that you need to think about this fashion profile. Okay. Next one. Fashion and commercial. Okay. This is the thing that I really love to share, and I really have like very big enthusiasm to share. Why? Because actually like I don't even realize before I was like go to Jakarta that actually like fashion and commercial is like a very big thing, and it's actually like one of a main ingredient to create some kind of like a marketing tools. So maybe of you that have already take a college for the periklanan advertisement, like for advertisement, and also in the mass media, maybe you should like think about like making fashion in a commercial as one of a career on the head. Okay, why? And I'm gonna tell you about like why this thing is like one of the biggest money income for in the fashion industry itself. Okay, so commercial itself, it is used to sell a product to everyday customer. Commercial modeling rates depending on the brands, but it's generally representative of more approachable and realistic look. So maybe like you can recognize a billboard everywhere, or maybe like a TVC, like ads in kind of a TV or any in the theater or in the magazines or in the newspaper or even in the bus. Don't you know that actually like the 50% about those images are creating by fashion people? Why? Because like the styling for the commercial and the identity about the characters on that picture or on that moving picture is actually like being think and create by the fashion people itself. And it was like part about like 65 or 75% crucial things for any kind of an advertisement to be accepted in the society. Okay, so what was the thing that you need to learn about doing some kind of like a fashion in the commercial? It's brief. What kind of brief of it? So what is the brand identity? Like we need to recognize the brand identity. If you have a client, let's say Permata Bank's colors is green, then maybe you should put a little bit green on the clothing, or maybe like put a little bit greens on the makeup and everything. Or maybe like if you're working with Coca-Cola, you need to kind of red, and maybe like what kind of like not necessarily literally red, but like you also have to think about like what is the character they want to show about it. So in this picture that we we can see also like there's like some kind of like a brand identity, because like the first two picture up this upper picture is like for the OCBC and ASP. So we put everything in red, and also we can give you them we can give them about the complementary colors, so they're not really a little bit hard selling on it. And then like the second brief is have to be like represents the audience. So because like they try to sell something to be recognized by the audience, also realistic. So like we can see like the picture is also like a candid, and maybe like some of the people like thinking about like where is the fashions due in that, but like actually like we think about like all the color stones. Like we take example about like this Matahari feels good campaign in here is actually like quite it looks very simple. It just look like no, it's just like some kind of like a picture of a family that having fun on the beach, and it doesn't have to think about it doesn't have to hard thinking about the clothing and everything. But actually, like when we see the picture, the background of the picture is actually blue. You will not recognize them wearing a blue, but like if they still want to have a blue color on it, you need to think about like what is the other color tone that will be suited on it. So here's the thing that we actually like work a lot of it, think about like, and we discuss it with also the photographer or the director on it, and also with the client about like how they actually want to put the picture on it on the layout. So we need to think about the color also, about how they're really gonna be good on the camera and everything. And then like selling the product is like one of the things also. So in here that we can see like this is like for the Ultima 2. So the clothes itself that you need to think about. So Ultima 2, they're selling I forgot the name of the serums. I think like it's a pro collagen something. So it's kind of like a serum to give your body a moisturize and looks beautiful. So we need to think about a clothes that not literally too sexy, but like look pretty, but not, you know, like I know like usually like women just go to nighttime care with only using some kind of like a tank top, but like we cannot put like a just like a regular tank top in the high-end brand like Ultima 2. So we need to think about like, okay, the clothes have to be showing some skin. The clothes it has to be like very freely and have to be like very beautiful and elegant, and also represents the products and how they gonna be like selling the product. When the models are like touching the product, the clothes is not gonna be like overwhelmed and not overselling the products also. And then like the last one, this picture is just like so I know it's not clothes related, but like this kind of thing is actually like is the department of the fashion stylist when the fashion and beauty department think about it. So in here like you need to tell about the models and everything, the concept about it, and they put like a makeup on it. So this picture is actually like we literally paint the models with red with airbrush, using airbrush. And also like the the gift one, the white gift painting is also attached a real one. So it's not digital imaging. Why? Because like with this kind of focus, a really close up focus, the camera will be shooting a lot of a skin, how do you say it? Texture, the skin texture. So we actually like creating the makeup on the models with the one eye. So it was like taking about like a 1.5 hour makeup, and the models will still doing this until the photo shoot done. Okay. And then so, okay. So that's about the brief. And I'm gonna talk about I'm gonna share you about like what I've done about like some kind of a brief, and I'm gonna tell you about the identity about like why the identity is like the job of the fashion stylist and the fashion team to do it. Okay. In 2009, I had like the honor to create this the wonderful Indonesia photo concepts on the clothing and everything. So it was like some kind of like a visit Indonesia advertisement that being that put in all around the world, and then we go to about like 10 places in the all over Indonesia, and then we want to make it like a little bit more fashion and showing like, so the concept itself is about Ibu Pertiwi. So maybe if you some of you that doesn't recognize, so Ibu Pertiwi is kind of like a Mother Earth in Indonesia. It's kind of like the represent of Indonesia itself to become like it was like represent as a woman in any kind of place. There's has to be there's a muse called the Ibu Pertiwi. It's called Madam Pertiwi. So in here, the identity of each region is kind of different. Like we know like Indonesia have a lot of cultures and everything, and somehow like this is kind of like one of the hard work, because like I have to work with some kind of expert of in the cultural department, because like we want to create something that literally traditional. Like if you can see like all the clothes in here are not traditional clothings in the real way, but like it's modified into a modern way. But we need to maximize it with any kind of a traditional attribute, accessories, and everything. In the first one that we go to Bromo is like we want to give Ibu Pertiwi as a Tengger woman. So the Tengger woman is like one of the tribe that living in the high mountain of Bromo. So we give her as like the white dress to represent as the white cloud of Mount Bromo, and then like the fabric that like flowing into the camera, we call it like penuntung si, I forgot the name of it. Maybe Mas Iga or Bu Yun, if you recognize the motif of the tenun, but it was like being famous that wearing in the Tengger society. So we need to think about like how the tenun Tengger is being modernized, but like we need to ask them also, because like several of these clothes is actually like forbidden in these several places. And we can see like the second one is like we go to the Toba Lake in the South Sumatra, in the North Sumatra, and then like we can see like the clothing is actually like some kind of have like the shape of a Japanese kimono, but like modernized. But the pattern itself, it's like they're using the pattern of ulos. Is like a traditional Batak fabrics. And then like the fourth one is actually like it's the first time I have a picture inside the sea. It's in Morotai, in the North Maluku, near to Philippines, and it's actually a real shark. And we actually like literally take a picture 10 meters below on the Morotai on the Morotai Island. And then like but the model is kind of like she's a really good, because like she used to be work as a mermaid in Jakarta aquariums, and she's actually like being okay with the shark already. And then in here, even though it was like deep down the water, but like we need to put some kind of like a representation of the Morotai tribe inside it. So we can see you can see like we using red as like one of the famous Morotai color. Why I call famous, because like, but the Morotai people say about like if they're wearing red, it means it's about celebration. So they only wearing red to go to date. They wearing red into like to some kind of a wedding, and also some kind of like a celebration and everything. So the red color is like the symbolize of that celebration. And we can see like there's like a cross fabric on it, is like one of the traditional Morotai attributes on it. And then the fourth one, it was like the identity of East Nusa Tenggara princess. We are they're taking picture in Mandalika, and this one is like I have to make some custom made to a designer and put some kind of traditional fabrics inside it. So this is like identity of the heart of wonders in Indonesia, Visit Indonesia campaign. So these four things is actually like a crucial thing of the fashion people to think about it. So that's why like this industry is actually needs some kind of like a fashion people to be in it. And then on the next one, okay, we're gonna go to the identity of the OCBC. So it's not only about like taking it to another high level or high dreamy fashion with anything, but like the simplest thing is actually need the fashion expert to think about it also. So this is like it looks like just like a simple everyday life picture, but like it's actually like you need to think about the representation also, because like the clothing itself, it shows in here, and it will be, and it's actually like recognized by the public to become like to become one of the campaign that being struck to the public to the audience itself. So we can see like the third one, the three above is actually like for they represent about the one of the, how do you say, service in the bank, the OCBC bank. So the first one is about like they're a very old bank, but like a modern in the way. So in here, like we can see the girl is playing some kind of like I forgot the name of the instrument, but you can see like it's a very old instrument. But like we can see like the girls, the dress is very modern. So it represents the OCBC as they're a very old bank, but like they're modern now. So they're very trustworthy about it. So that is the thing that twisted in the in the picture in here. On the second one, we talk about like protection. They have like they're selling about the service of insurance. So in here that we can see like two college people that protect each other like that. So it is called about they represent about like how they how OCBC protect you with their insurance and everything. And we can see like in here that we need to represent because they are targeting to be like they are targeting the audience to be as young as they can to buy their insurance and to be to talk about and invest their money on it. So we need to put a lot of ornament that everyone when they first time saw it, oh, it's they're in the college. How in here that I put some kind of like a bag, a sling bag on it, and then like some kind of a jeans, and also like we can see like they still have represents a real college not uniform, but a real college proper clothing. Our college still have to wear color, right now masih gak still, yeah. Okay, and then the third one is actually like about another protection, but I forgot what kind of a service or the protection itself. But in here it's about like they're selling about the insurance about like protecting your youth. So in here like we can see like the the kids and their mom, they're wearing like the same things, they're wearing the same denim, and it represents about like this is your investment, like that. This is how you have to think about it. And the one that below is actually like about talking about freedom. In here we can see like actually like you can play about like how the picture's gonna end, because like when you have the brief like yes, women freely bicycle and everything, you need to think about like also the clothes, about like how do you make a woman that we're using a bicycle looks very beautiful and look freely and very look inspiring to them. So this is how we make it like they have to have wearing a red scarf. It represents also the brand, and we were using also the red bicycle on it. And then the fifth one, I forgot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Okay. And the fifth one is actually like about they selling about to the premier customer. So the premier customer in here that you need to represent them, and you have to dress them as rich people that invest a lot of money, because like this is gonna be like the represent of them. So in here like we try to make it look like this guy is like waiting for his private jet in some kind of a hangar like that. And then like the sixth picture, we can see also like about, this is one of the highest, it's like a platinum member for the platinum member on the OCBC. So in the platinum member, also like we can see like platinum is like wearing everything is very silver. So we represent it and like we put it there and inject it into the clothing and the tone of the color of the picture also. In this picture that we can see that actually like it's about a very highly a lot of money saving. So we can put like a represent as a very old grandpa making designer clothes for the granddaughter to go with. So this is like the identity that you need to create on OCBC. Then the next one.
Sorry for friendly reminder, you have still 5 minutes.
Okay, I will do fast. Okay, this one is like for the Revlon, and I think like everybody already know about Revlon. So the identity of Revlon itself is like how they divided the color itself into like 3 different character of it. Like the first one is like sweet, so you put like the clothing is a little bit like what a kind of sweet girl that will want to wear and everything. And like the second one is like a funky and fun. So you put like a lot of colors and also like giving the character of the girls that represents the color of the Revlon's color itself. And then the third one is Rebel. So in here, the Rebels is like I'm using like some kind of like a black color. Oh, sorry, black color and also the orange color. So it still like represents. It's kind of like easy for this kind of brand because like they already have like those kind of identity to giving on the brief. Okay, the last one is actually like one of my hardest job ever is actually the Asian Games. So why this is like the hardest job? So here's the thing. We only have like a 6 campaign to create with, and and we have to create about like a 6 region. So why it's so difficult? Because it's a region, it's not a country. If it's a country that we can recognize the culture itself, like, okay, it represents one of a country, but it represents a kind of a region. So the first one is about like the Northern Asian one, about in like North China, Mongolia, and all the Stan country and everything. Here that it takes about like a lot of a time to actually like explore and research with a lot of people that we call to the embassy, we call to someone's on the YouTube, like we need to call everything. But like, thank God that everything is actually like put down together and really good. And but it's one of the things that this job is kind of like a little make us hectic. But like when we saw it, it's kind of like, wow, it's really, really overwhelming when the thing is come up. And then the second one is representing the Southeast Asia. And then the third one is representing the East Asia. And then like the Middle East. And also like we go to the parts of the Far East of Asia on the island side. And then like we go to the Southern Asia on the last picture also. So here's like the thing that the fashion industry, the fashion people and the industry need to work with actually, because like they need to represent, they need to research, and they not only like creating trend or just like putting some kind of good clothes, but like you need also to think about a lot of things if you work in the fashion and the commercial, because a lot of idea and a lot of a demand that actually like comes to you, because like the picture itself it needs to be like elevate in some kind of way. Okay, and then my words. Can I say my word? Yeah, so my word, I think like the fashion in this industry is the one who making an identity. So if you think about fashion, it's not only about like the glamorous thing in life, but like I hope with this sharing with you guys, like you can also think about that the fashion itself is actually like one of the biggest industry in the creative industry. And most of the people not really think about it. Like maybe they only think about like a fashion is only just like a half eye and think about like, yeah, it's just like some kind of like a glamour fashion show, runway and everything. But actually like all the people that working behind it is in the creative industry are actually like way more than that, and it's actually like a lot of things to be explored in the fashion, because like it's making an identity. It's like a, that's why like on the first opening I was talking about like why why fashion is important in the communication department, because like is one of the one of the representation. Fashion is kind of like the culture. The fashion is kind of like what we wear and how we gonna be judged people by the fashion itself. And yeah, it's an identity. So I think that's all. Thank you. You guys are awesome. And if anyone's want to follow my Instagram, that's my Instagram. Yay. Can I do that promotion? Can I?
Yeah, sure. Need to pay for that. Okay. Thank you, Aga. It's an interesting presentation
and sorry for the technical issue.
That's okay. That's
and fine. A very bad English.
We have a question from Fafa. I read it in the chat box. How important tagline for our brands or our fashion profile, and what do you think about fast fashion and slow fashion? Okay, I don't know about this. I think fast food and thing. And the third one, what do you think about making new color trend or color prediction for our brand? So what do you think?
How important tagline for our brands or our fashion profile? Okay, tagline, I'm not sure what is the meaning of it. So it's kind of like you want to make a tagline for the brands, right? Like that, or maybe our fashion profile.
Fafa, can you ask Aga directly?
Yeah, hi Fafa.
A tagline for our brand. Fafa, can you ask directly? So, okay.
Maybe I'm gonna just like answer the second question. Okay, what do you think about fast fashion and slow fashion? So here's the thing. If we're gonna be like talking about the environment, yes, fast fashion right now is still one of the biggest penyumbang. What is
penyumbang? Contributes
of the limbah, yeah, one of the limbah, one of the waste in the fashion industry and even in the world right now. The thing is like, here's the thing, like right now is like a fast fashion is trying to, a lot of like a fashion brands right now are trying to develop how they survive and they sustain about and creating a good environments in the world. Like take example, like if you recognize H&M is right now, like they have like a conscious collection. So all of the fabric itself is like very eco-friendly, and they actually like sustain into, if you're gonna be like throwing out to the one day when you already bored about it, they gonna be like separate themselves in the ground and become like one of the very natural ingredients to the nature. So I think like one time at a time, I think like right now is like the fast fashion is getting very concerned also about what happened right now. In the slow fashion, I think like the slow fashion right now is kind of like getting slower with the COVID-19 that happening right now. But we have like still the optimism. Like I can see like several of the fashion weeks are already open. Like last month that we already have like a Milan Fashion Week, Paris Fashion Week, and even the New York Fashion Week. The only one that we not having is only London Fashion Week. But we can see like what happens right now is like it's getting better right now. And then again, what do you think about making a new color trend, color prediction for our brand? Okay, here's the thing that we always do when I was like still working in the magazines. So when you see like a fashion week, like take example like this fashion week, like the fall winter 2000, the fall winter collection this last September. It was like in the 2021, but they call it a spring summer 2022. Why? Because like they're actually like telling you this is what gonna be happens on on my brand on the year of 2022. So all the one that represents by the models on the fashion week is actually like it's not gonna be like selling directly. It's not gonna be like on the market very soon. It's gonna be like take them about like 6 months to create it. So what happened on the fashion week is kind of like a preview. So when the preview is happening during the fashion week, there's gonna be like a lot of designers to be following up. You can see like what kind of a lot of color. When you see like take example like Dior have like a green color, and then like Dolce and Gabbana have also like green color, and then the Louis Vuitton have a green color. Then you can see it like actually like on the next year, green color is gonna be like one of the trend. So that is like one thing that why we, the fashion editor, is always gonna be like put it on the front row, because that is our battlefield. Like we need to be like there to see in it and to create it and then to giving to report what happened on the runway, because that thing is gonna be like the one that everyone's gonna wear on the next seasons. So that is why a fashion editor job is important. But like not to compare to war journalists, but like yeah, we do have our own war for it, like that.
A different war.
Yeah, to prediction about like what a color trend that will be happening next.
Okay, I'm giving the opportunity to Johanna to ask the questions.
Hi,
Please,
Johanna.
Hello. May I speak Indonesian?
Yes, Johanna.
Oh, thank God.
Ya.
Sorry,
Oke.
guys.
Sebelumnya saya Johanna, sekarang S2 di UNER. Tapi saya punya pengalaman sebagai marketing communication di salah satu retail fashion. Sebenarnya it's a stretch.
Nggak boleh sebut nama ya?
Jangan deh.
Ya udah, kantornya di mana deh? Nggak boleh juga ya?
Di Jakarta dulu. Nggak, maksud saya adalah kembali lagi ke ini fashion sebagai industri kreatif. It's a stretch kan to call a low fashion. Sejauh apa definisi fashion sebagai industri kreatif itu? Sejauh mana fashion yang sampai sejauh apa sih yang bisa dibilang sebagai industri kreatif? Karena kalau saya lihat low fashion, retail fashion, is it fashion? Kayaknya enggak deh. Kalau soalnya tempat saya bekerja dulu lokal brand, dia cuma nge-recycle, dia hanya merecycle, dia ambil pola gratis, nggak gratis, maksudnya dia beli pola, terus dia nge-recycle style dari higher fashion. So how stretch-nya apa nih? Kalau saya paham kalau high fashion kita tahu pasti industri kreatif. Cuman sampai sejauh apa sih definisi industri kreatif fashion itu? Itu pertama. Maaf, ada lagi satu. Yang kedua adalah tadi di akhir presentasi kan sempat ada quote dari Anda yang tentang it's all about making an identity. Sebenarnya namun yang saya lihat dari presentasinya ini lebih ke how to as the editorial, how to untuk menonjolkan identity dari brand, dari brand fashion itu. Penangkapan saya sih, bukankah kalau kita ngomongin identity fashion itu bukankah lebih kayak Burberry dengan garis-garisnya itu, atau mungkin LV dengan itunya semuanya. Apakah bagaimana pendapat Anda gitu sih?
Okay.
Okay, before you answer,
should I answer it in English or should I?
Yes, please, because we have an international audience. So before you answer the question, I need to translate Johanna question first. The first one is how we define fashion in creative industry. How we categorize low fashion. Low fashion is in the retail fashion as a part of the creative industry, because they don't make their own brand. They just make some massive industry, massive production. And the second one, how the fashion can make identity, because somehow the identity comes from the brand already, isn't it? From the the visual and things, and how the fashion stylist can create the identity on the established brand. Yes, that's the
Okay.
question. I hope it's a transfer, right? And please, Aga, you do have an answer in English. Sorry about that.
Okay. So basically, when we call fashion, is actually like it came from like I'm not like maybe like if anybody can correct me if I'm wrong, but like in my uh as far as my knowledge is actually like the fashion is like culture. Like people say about like, please say sorry in the very fashion way, like that. So that word is actually like what I have in mind when I say about the fashion. It's about like the culture, about the things. So that's why like when I told you about I mean in my presentation, there's like a three type of fashions that I recognize. Well, even though outside we have like a lot of fashions. I mean like they have like a traditional fashion. They have like a retail fashion. And one of the trends right now is actually like an eco fashion. What is eco fashion? It's actually like a brand or maybe like some kind of trend that they don't buy a new clothes like that. So they buy in the thrift shop, but it's still called fashion. It's not about like how people like actually design it, but it's actually like something that we wear. So I think like a low fashion is still we call it fashion, but like fashion itself is just like something that's clothes and wear and style and everything. So it doesn't have to be like uh, recognized by a designer who made it or like someone that actually made it. I know in the creative industry, people are also like tended to be like putting like a fashion only to several people that actually create it in their own mind. But the thing is, like a lot of brand actually, like if you can see several of the brands like Christian Dior on the year of 2014 to 2016, they don't have a creative director. After Raf Simons got out, before the Maria Grazia Chiuri come in, the only one that creating them is like the theme behind Christian Dior itself. So actually, like one of what Joanna asked about, like when you work actually like in the uh, I think it's a fast retail. You cannot call it low fashion. We call it retail right now, even though it's local. Yeah, I do recognize like several local brand is actually like buying some kind of a buying design things, but they actually like creating themselves as the design itself is actually made by them. Like take example, like there's no such a thing as a new silhouette came from the retail fashion this day. Even though like if you could recognize Zara, the shirt from Zara maybe like a different in some kind of like a tailoring, but the shape itself, the shirt in Zara and the shirt in let's say Otella or Nevada, it's the same. It's the same shirt. It's like that. So I think like if designers like creating new are being called fashion, but like still the same shirt that we wear or everybody buy from either high fashion or low fashion or street fashion, it's still called fashions. I think that is my opinion about it. And then what is the second one? I kind of forget it.
The developing of identity from the established.
Oh yeah. So okay, here's the thing about the identity. Even though that we know about like I think it's kind of like a misinterpretation about like what happens right now is about the brand the fashion is become like an identity. Well, long time ago it was like I think it's kind of like a very interesting journey about like what happened in the fashion world these days. So a long time ago, I think like during the 1940s or the 1950s, when the rise of a very famous designer name are coming out, like example, like Christopher Burberry. We recognize the Christopher Burberry pattern. It was like the check one, but actually that identity is being he was been inspired by the check that happens on the Scotland because like Christopher Burberry is like come from London, right? He's from England. And then like what happened in the Scotland, they have like this check board and inspired him to create those kind of things. So a long time ago, actually the society are creating the identity of that brand. But this day is actually the way around. because like all that pattern is actually like creating the identity of what happened to the audience that wants to wear it right now. Like I take example, like if we can see, if we wearing a lot of like a Gucci logo, people gonna really recognize you like, oh, okay, you are very rich people, you're a rich person, maybe like that. That was like a simple example. I know it's a bad one, but like, yeah, it's like that. But that's the thing about like what happened is like the identity of the fashion brand itself is always developing. So why is fashion is like identity? Because like for me, it's kind of like the fashion is become the identity of the person, but like the person itself, it can be like the identity of the fashion itself. Why? They work both ways. Because like if we take example, if I have a brand and kind of like making clothes from trash bag, let's example, it's very fashion. I want to make it like it's a new identity for all the people. But like if the people doesn't accept it, it's not become identity. It's not gonna be like something. It's just only my brand identity. That's it. So that is the thing about like becoming identity. It's like a work both around right now. So we can see like no one is actually like stronger than which one is the stronger, the trend itself or like the people itself, the designer itself, the brand itself. I think everything is like rolling and everything, because like designers is also need an inspiration. What they need from inspiration is also like on the back of them there's a people called marketing and sales team that always tell them about like, okay, you cannot do this kind of things, because like what happened is like the last one we only cancel the skirt. Can you just like make the skirt? It's kind of like that. Maybe like Joanna, you maybe like recognize also like this kind of a term also a long time ago. So you are in the marketing, right? Like you're in the marketing. You must be recognized also like the debate between the designers, the sales team, and also the marketing about like what happened to the brand like that. So I think is what happened is like is always around. So fashion is identity for everyone. The one who wearing Gucci gonna be like have Gucci identity, but like the one who inspires Gucci will have their identity. So that's what comes around. Oh, anyway, Fafa question is about technical example Uniqlo collection.
Can I still argue to your
Oh
first?
yeah. Okay.
No, I have no doubt that retail fashion is a fashion, but my question is retail fashion considered a creative industry? Because we rely on machines. We have, like in my in our my brand, my ex brand, well, our creative tanda kutip ya, our creative team itself only consists like for 3 or 4 people, and what they do is they search pattern on Pinterest and they create the pattern from like Pinterest patterns, and they stole. It's not stole. Nothing is original, I know, but still, the process is not very creative. It's yeah. That's why I think I would like to argue that I think retail fashion, like like my personal experience, I think I cannot call it a creative industry, but maybe for other local brands that actually do their homework, maybe it is. But I like example, live example, I think I doubt that it can be called a creative industry because there's only so little creativity in it. That's. But thank you for your answer, especially the number 2 question.
Yeah. Maybe I can like share a little bit also about like so what happened actually, like this thing is not only happens on your old company, because like this thing is actually like it was not a secret that it was like globally happenings all around the world. Like that example, like if everybody knows Inditex. So Inditex company is a Spanish company that owns Zara, Pull&Bear, Massimo Dutti. So maybe some of you like recognize those. So if you notice, like most of the fashion people actually like notice about like Zara is always copy the pattern of a famous designers. all the time. Not only the pattern, they even like copy the print, copy the shape, copy the silhouette, and they even like copy the runway. So, but how does the big, like a big company like Zara and all the Inditex group still survive without being recognized as a thief or like something that being called not creative? Here's the thing that actually like there's a, I don't know if it happened in Indonesia or not, but actually in Europe or like in the world, like several brands have this agreement with all these fast fashions that try to copy them. You need to at least have like a five different things, either the material, either the print, either the shape, either the color or everything. You need to have at least five. Even the smallest one, maybe like when you say, well, if you say like Iwan Tirta batik have a chicken, but like another batik have a peacock, that's fine. Even like even different one, two or like two buttons, it's still considered as a difference. So actually, like what happens is actually why we still being called creative, because like there's no 100% copycat. But I don't know in Joanna Old's company, yeah. I mean, like if they will literally like copy all the pattern and everything, but I think they're probably gonna be like differentiate the color or the materials, and I think it's still being considered as like a creative industry, a creative industry in fashion. I think it's still being called fashion, and it's still fair to call them like that also. So this is I just want to share that actually like those things is happens all around the world, and even China was like the biggest one to doing it right now. Like they have like a lot of brand and then doing it, and they try to protect themselves by not being getting sued is by that kind of that thing about like the agreement of five things that little bit have a different what happened in the new design of the retail. So that is what happened, and I hope this sharing is giving some kind of insight to all of you guys.
That's interesting. You need, as long as you have five differences in your design,
yes,
so you will not consider as a
copycat
plagiarism.
Yeah,
or copying. Okay,
and
we'll do that.
Yeah, and actually, and it's not because of this high-end brand are like too lazy to sue them or something. Because like, if you recognize there's like a news, there's like a, do you know? So Louis Vuitton have like this distinctive pattern, like the zero and the clovers and everything. And there's like a one tiny hair salon in China using that tile on their floor, and Louis Vuitton goes there and sue them, like literally. So it's actually like I like the biggest company like the Inditex. They doing it going so far without being recognized is very impossible, right? I mean, like Zara is everywhere, like everybody they're like in the all around the world, but that's the thing that why they are still survive right now, because like they're protecting themselves from what happens outside by that kind of agreements rules.
Okay, I still have one last question from Fafa. Can you answer it? How important is the tagline for our brand, especially in fashion?
Okay, so I think like one of the, here's the thing. I think like this is like the interesting also. The thing of high fashion usually not using any kind of tagline. The one that using tagline is most likely are the one who goes on the retails, the one in the fast fashion, or maybe like the one in the studio fashions, in the middle one. Why? Because like high fashion usually like they don't need some kind of a word to describe what are they. They usually, if you recognize like some of the brands, like let's call Christian Dior, they only tell where the city they were born. Christian Dior, Paris. Louis Vuitton, Paris. Burberry, London. Just kind of like that. So I think like I think it's not really to really too matters about the tagline for the higher end fashion. But like for the retail, I will say 50-50. Again, I mean, like take example, like if like this, some kind of tagline it's with the wrong one, or like maybe like some of the tagline are try to hard selling, and a hard selling sometimes for me personally, it doesn't really work in the selling their product. Like example, and if I have like my brand Aga, the style that you choose kind of sounds like ish like that. So I think it doesn't really matter about tagline, but like if the Uniqlo, because like their tagline is like Uniqlo is as a lifewear, is kind of like identity that they want to separate, because like not all people actually recognize them as a lifewear. People only know Uniqlo as a brand, as a clothing brand, but they actually not selling the clothing brands. What they sell is actually about the benefits of the lifestyle that you have. So if you see Uniqlo silhouette, style, and everything is actually like quite basic. They don't have like a puffer jacket that have an embellishment, or they don't even have a print a lot. So Uniqlo main point is about like how to dress an everyday lifestyle. So if you in Japan and any every kind of country, Uniqlo is kind of like a market, like a staple market that you can buy like some kind of like a shirt and everything. It's kind of like most likely like a basic. So sorry. So I think like the tagline, if your brands want to get out from some kind of a system, you can put like those kind of a tagline. But I think if your brand doesn't have any consistent about the tagline and everything, I think it doesn't really matters about it. I hope I answered the question, Papa.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Aga, for we already passed the time already.
Okay.
If you have a question, can you please send to Aga Instagram? Then we can ask, we can answer all the questions you ask. And thank you, Aga, for your presentation. Very
interesting. Thank you so much, Mas Iga.
Yeah.
Yuyun.
Thank you, everyone, for coming to this class.
Bu Yuyun still here?
I think Bu Yuyun is not here anymore.
Okay.
It's already Maghrib, I believe. Yeah. So again, thank you, everyone. Thank you, everybody, for coming to this class. And thank you, Aga. I will, of course, we'll invite you again in a different event to talk about fashions, because it's kind of, I think you only few among communication department who choose the career in fashion industry, then that will be very interesting.
Yeah, I think my year and below me, the one that works in fashion is only like 3 people right now from communication. But yeah, I mean, like, it's a very good opportunity, guys. You should try it. Don't work at the bank. Work in the creative industry.
Okay, thank you, everyone, for coming to this class, and see you again in another class. Remember, tomorrow we still have a guest lecture for film industry in Indonesia. I will share the announcement in the groups and on the social media. So again, thank you. Stay happy, stay healthy. Thank you, Aga.
Thank you. Bye, guys.